Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're having a great day. I'm just going to do a very short devotional today, a scripture talk. I have a doctor's appointment coming up soon, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare, but I found a selection of scripture that I thought was a good reminder of reminding us what God has done for us and how it's good to recall all the things that He's done. So this is just a portion of Psalm 44. And it says, and starting in verse 1, it says, "We have heard with our ears, O God. Our fathers have told us what you did in their days, in days long ago." So it starts off talking about their fathers and probably their fathers' fathers, grandfathers, talking and giving testimony about what the Lord has done. And that is such a wonderful thing for children to hear. My grandchildren actually love to hear me tell stories about my life or what God has done or answered prayer for us, our family or other people we know, and it ignites faith within people. And so it's a great thing for fathers and mothers to pass down stories about how God intervened in their life or blessed them, answered prayers or lessons that they may have learned. So this is what this is talking about. Then it says, "With your hand you drove out the nations and planted our fathers. You crushed the peoples and made our fathers flourish. It was not by their sword that they won the land, nor did their arm bring them victory. It was your right hand, your arm, and the light of your face, for you loved them." So it's going on talking about that. Obviously, in this scripture, God removed the people and fought for his own people. He did it all, and gave them this land and got out the people who were wicked and doing corrupt thing, idol worship, sacrificing their children, things like that. And really desecrating the land. And so basically that's what that's talking about. But if we take it for ourselves about what kind of victories that God has done in our life, what kind of miracles that he has done, maybe, when we were going through rough times as a family or an individual, a financial hardship, a health hardship, a miraculous healing, or maybe even a slow healing, or what he has taught us in a particular situation. Maybe even as, a teenager, something that we went through and the Lord taught us something through it, and telling that to other people and what the Lord has done. Because, people cannot deny your testimony. They can go, "Well, I don't believe the Bible," but they have a real harder time when you say, "This is what the Lord has done for me," and you gave your testimony to them, because that's your testimony, and that's actually what happened in your life. So that's harder to discredit, okay, when it comes to people that want to fight against this. And then going on, it says, "You are my king and my God, who decrees victories for Jacob. Through you, we push back our enemies. Through you, your name, we trample our foes. I do not trust in my bow. My sword does not bring me victory, but you give us victory over our enemies. You put our adversaries to shame. In God we make our boast all day long, and we will praise your name forever." And so ending it right here, so they are acknowledging that it is God who has given them the victory. It is not just in our might or our strength that we see God working supernaturally in our lives, in instances, in prayers that we might have prayed for people. It is God that has, stood in the gap, and he has fought our battles for us, and he has fought our enemies for us, and that we need to stand still and know that he is God. and most importantly, giving him the praise for doing it. Because a lot of times we can pray about something, and maybe it was a little while ago that we prayed about it. Then God answers the prayer, and we're like, oh, yeah, that's nice. And then we actually forget to thank him for it. So it's good to write down our prayers, keep track of what we've been praying for, and when God has answered a prayer, writing the date and how he answered it. And what a wonderful thing to pass on to family. I actually had a huge bucket in the past of prayer books, just tons of them. And I actually, to my shame, had thrown out quite a bit because there were so many of them. And it was written out prayers or even prayer requests and how God answered them. And really, that's a wonderful testimony, maybe later on, for your family to go through and see how God has been faithful in your life. Just like when my father had passed away, a certain amount of years ago, and I had to go through all of his things, and found out really more about his history and things like that by going through personal things. Wouldn't it be a wonderful thing for our family to find prayer books of maybe even prayers that we prayed for them and how they were answered? So remember to tell your children, your grandchildren, even your great-grandchildren about what the Lord has done for you personally. Maybe have prayer books that you could share with them, or even remind yourself. And most of all, let's remember to thank God for what he has done for us in our lives. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. God bless.